Magandang buhay mga bata! I am Teacher Marie Cornicdao, your math teacher for today. Today's lesson is all about illustrating the properties of multiplication in relevant situations. Let us start our lesson with a story problem. The Rotary Club of Angeles Colyat will donate 3 boxes of gadgets to grade 3 pupils of Sapang Bato Elementary School. Each box contains 9 new tablets. How many tablets are there in all? An easier way to get the total of tablets is through the use of multiplication. If we have 3 boxes of tablets and each box contains 9 tablets, if we multiply 3 and 9, our total or product is 27. If we change the position of our factors, let's say 9 times 3, the product is also 27. This property is what we call the commutative property of multiplication. This states that when two numbers are multiplied together, the product is the same regardless of the order of the multiplicants. 3 times 9 is just the same as 9 times 3. Looking back at our example, 9 times 3 is 27. Even if we change their position, 3 times 9 is also 27. Properties of multiplication are rules that determine how multiplication works. The properties can make your computation easier and faster. Aside from commutative property, we also have the identity property of multiplication. This states that any number multiplied by 1 is equal to the number itself or its identity. For example, 8 times 1 is equal to 8. If you have 8 books multiplied by 1, the product is 8. Another property is the zero property of multiplication. Any number multiplied by 0 is always equal to 0. For example, 8 times 0 is 0. Another property of multiplication is the associative property. When 3 or more numbers are being multiplied, the product is the same regardless of the grouping of the factors. Let's say we multiply 8 times 3 first, then multiplied to 4, it's just the same as 8 multiplied by 3 times 4. Let us consider using 3 numbers, let's say 2, 3, and 4, then we multiply them. For the first equation, we will multiply first 2 and 3 before we multiply to 4. There are 2 groups of 3 brushes. The product is 6. Then we multiply 6 by 4. There are 4 groups of 6 brushes. There are 24 brushes in all. Let's move to our second equation. This time, let's multiply 3 and 4 first before we multiply to 2. There are 3 groups of 4 brushes. Then we multiply 12 by 2. The product is also 24. Let's move to the last property of multiplication. This is the distributive property. This states that the sum of two numbers times a third number is equal to the sum of each addends times the third number. For example, 5 times 4 plus 3 is just the same as 5 times 4 plus 5 times 3. In this example, we simply distribute 5 to the two addends. 5 multiplied by 4 and 5 multiplied by 3. Let us look at our first example. Our equation is 2 times 3 plus 1. If we add first, then our answer will be 2 times 3 plus 1 is equal to 2 times 4, which is equal to 8. We can also distribute multiplication over addition. In this case, we distribute 2 to 3 and 1. This gives us 2 times 3 plus 2 times 1. Then we get their products. 6 plus 2 is equal to 8. As in both cases, the answer we get is the same. Hence, multiplication is distributive. This time, let's try some exercises. What property of multiplication is being shown? Twelve times 1 is equal to 12. Very good. It shows identity property of multiplication. 9 times 8 is equal to 8 times 9. Very good. It shows commutative property of multiplication. 0 times 100 is equal to 0. What property is being shown? Very good. It shows a zero property of multiplication. How about the next one? 5 times 3 plus 2 is just the same as 5 times 3 plus 5 times 2. Very good. It shows distributive property of multiplication. Twenty times 1 equals 20 shows what property of multiplication? Very good. It shows identity property of multiplication. 2 times 3 times 4 is equal to 2 times 3 times 4. It shows associative property of multiplication. This time, let's try to identify the property of multiplication and the missing number in each equation. First, we have 3 times 0 is equal to blank. This equation shows zero property of multiplication. The missing number is 0. Let's try the next one. 12 times 3 is equal to 3 times blank. This equation shows commutative property of multiplication. The missing number is 12. 4 times 2 times 5 is equal to blank times 2 times 5. This equation shows associative property. The missing digit is 4. Let's try 3 times 8 plus 4 is equal to 3 times blank plus 3 times 4. This equation shows distributive property of multiplication. The missing number is 8. Lastly, 234 times 1 is equal to blank. This equation shows identity property of multiplication. The missing number is 234. properties of multiplication can help you, the properties can make your computation easier and faster. I hope you learned something for today's lesson. Again, thank you for watching. See you again.